because today we are talking about homeschool under pressure, homeschool freedom under pressure. And why is it under pressure? And what can we do about it? That's what I want to know. Because guess what? It doesn't have to be big, gigantic things. It can be little things that we can do to make sure that homeschooling stays an option for us all the time and for even our grandkids. Now, we're homeschoolers. Either you're thinking about homeschooling or you're already homeschooling. And homeschooling is a beautiful option for us. It is not available throughout the world. It is something that is really amazing that we get to do for our kids, that should be something that is always available for us. And you guys know I'm the freedom scholar. I am all about freedom for a lot of things, which means freedom to learn, freedom to teach our kids how we want to teach them, how we think that we feel, I should say, serves them best. We know in our gut, in our mama bear gut, that serves our kids the best, and that we have the freedom to do that in the way that we know is going to set them up for success, right? And that doesn't mean that we don't use things from classes or school or anything like that, but it does mean perhaps that we have open open rules, sort of like we have freedom, I should say. I guess you just use the word freedom, right? I don't want to overuse it, but I do want to use it. We have the freedom to be able to set the standard for what our kids need. And so, you guys, when it comes to education, since the Industrial Revolution that started our school system the way it is now, homeschooling, which has always been a thing, by the way, people have always homeschooled, whether you've heard about it or not. I know I didn't hear anything about that when I was growing up. I didn't know anybody who homeschooled. And so doing that, it was always something that you heard about, maybe, but I didn't really know anybody. And maybe I know California and places like where I grew up were not really the homeschooling is sort of a newer thing. Whereas in the middle of the United States and even on some of the eastern side, it's been a thing for a long time, but homeschooling's always been around. And as the Industrial Revolution gained a lot of influence over education and turned it into the traditional system that we have today, basically all the other things that were not like that became under pressure. They're always trying to make it like that. And it makes sense for them, right? It makes sense for the system to do that, but because of the way it's designed. But for us, we know in our hearts as parents what we know we need for our kids, right? And we know that homeschooling as an option is such a beautiful thing. So we want to make sure that we preserve that, because as homeschooling grows almost exponentially right now, and you guys, I've been doing this for 5 years and I've seen it grow. I've been homeschooling for way longer than that. But I've been homeschool mentoring for 5 years now, and I've seen it grow almost exponentially. We're going to hit that point. And this is why I'm telling you this now. You may not feel like this is something that's important to you right now. You may feel like, hey, we just got some wins in our state. We actually got more homeschool freedom. But in actual reality, it wanes and flows, right? Ebbs and flows. So we want to make sure that we keep it there long term. And I'm going to give you 3 things that is super easy to do to just make sure that it stays that way. And it doesn't have to be super ostentatious. It doesn't have to be way out there. Just little things, okay? Because it's not growing in all the states. It's actually decreasing in some states, and it's always under threat. Over the last, I think I've been keeping track of homeschool regulation and homeschool laws for the last, since 2016, probably. And so 9 years now. And I can tell you that it's gone up and down, up and down, up and down, and all over the nation. So I really want to just have this conversation with you to give you 3 easy things that you can do just to make sure homeschooling stays that way, stays an option for us, and an option where we have control, we have the ability to choose what's right for our kids, okay? So, and this is independent of politics. You guys, like I said, I've been really paying attention to this stuff since 2016, and it has really been something that it doesn't almost even matter who's in office per se. It does a little bit, but not very much, okay? Because I'll share more about that in a second. If you know what's going on in California, it's pretty interesting. But we want to make sure that if we're not paying attention, that what will happen is that we'll end up losing what we've gained and the freedom to be able to homeschool our kids. And it may not be so drastic, right? At first, it may just be a little trickle over time. And then all of a sudden, we're like, wait a minute, it didn't used to be like this. How come I can't? How come I can't? How come I can't? Right? And so I want you to know that there are it's just little things, and the more I've done this, and I know that the landscape of education from inside the public school system and out. I am not only a homeschool mentor, but I was a classroom teacher for 7 years before my son was born, so it was a long time ago. But my husband is still teaching in public school, and he's been teaching for like 28 years plus now. So I know what's happening in and out of public schools. My mom is actually a retired teacher, and she keeps track. She's actually on one of our state committees for her subject matter, and she keeps track of bills and things like that. So it's really interesting to watch that unfold over time. Now, granted, I'm in California, so there's a lot of things that come with that. I get that. In other places, it might be different. But no matter what, I've seen it happen to where homeschooling has taken hits over and over again, and we've had more pressure and more pressure, and for more rules, right? For more you know regulation, for lack of better words. So what we want to do is we want to do three easy things. I keep saying this because I know some of you are thinking, "Well, I just don't want to deal with that. I'm not that kind of person." I totally get it. I wasn't either. I didn't n- I didn't want to be one of those people that was on TV shows, talking about what's right or what's not, and what we need to do, and I don't want to get involved in that politics stuff, right? I get it. I don't like it either. I think it's yucky. I don't want it. Can be great, right? If we have great representatives, it can be great. But I just don't really feel like that's my niche. But what I found over time is that if we don't watch, if we don't pay attention, then we miss a lot, and a lot of things that can really affect the way that we homeschool our kids, and if we're able to, and for how long, and for our even our grandkids. We want this to be something that can stay forever, and it always has been there, but in different ways. And if you look at other countries, they have a lot, usually a lot of regulation around their homeschooling journeys and their ability to homeschool if they can at all. Most countries don't, which is really crazy. So it's growing, which is amazing, but it's not as free as we are. So in even in some of the more regulated states, even here in the more regulated states is still freer than most other countries. So I'm going to give you the three things. Are you ready? Because they're not complicated. They're so easy to do. And they're going to make you feel so empowered. They're going to make you feel like, hey, I know what's going on. I have the information and I know what to do. And this is it's not scary because it's only scary when you don't have the information and you hear rumors, or you don't even hear rumors at all and then it just comes down on you and oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do now? Trust me, I have been involved at all different levels, and it is it is definitely something where I feel more empowered when I have the information, when I know what's in there and what's not. So, you ready? Three easy things. The first thing is follow someone who knows. I know, right? In the age of social media, it's easy to do. Follow your state homeschool association. Some of them are good and some of them are not so good at this. Hopefully they are, because that's kind of one of their r I hope it's one of their responsibilities anyways. But follow one of your state homeschool associations. Follow some of the mamas in the state that are really advocating for homeschool freedom. There are some in California all that have been just absolute advocates for homeschool and parent freedom, that has been so amazing to be able to follow. They can tell you what's true, what's not true, what's happening, what's not happening, what's in this legislation, what's not in it, and how is that going to affect you. They're real people, they're real homeschoolers, and it's so beautiful when you can just follow somebody that you trust, say, "No, I know this is true." And then but don't just take it on their account, right? Go look at some other people and then follow up by reading. I know it's crazy, but reading the bill yourself. And this is what I mean about paying attention, okay? Paying attention. So, paying attention is the first thing. So, follow somebody you know and just take a little read into the bill. I know it seems complicated. It's got this legal jargon. Trust me, it's kind of like once you just read through it and you start just kind of getting into the groove of it, you'll get it. You'll get the gist of it anyways. You don't need to get all the legalese and all the everythings, but you'll get the gist of it. Trust me, you will. And if you don't, ask a question about it to the people you follow. Okay? So really just pay attention all around. Always pay attention, not just when it comes up. There's different seasons and sessions that your legislators in your state have that are when they're in session. And so just pay attention to when those are and just what's coming up. If you follow those people, they'll tell you what's coming up, okay? And then the second thing is, when something does come up that tries to put some pressure on homeschool freedom, then all you have to do, I know this seems crazy and some people are very uncomfortable talking on the phone these days, but literally all you have to do is find your representatives and just call their office. You won't even speak to them. Trust me. They have staff. And the staff answers the phone and they say, "Hello, this is so and so's office." And I say, "Hi, I am and you say your name. I'm Cami Wanis, and I'm calling to ask Senator so and so to please vote no on da da da, whatever the bill name is, on the number. Usually it's like, AB. Ours currently is AB 84. So please, I vote no on AB 84. And most of the time they won't even ask you why. And you don't even have a chance to say why. It's literally like a 2-minute call. And then they'll ask you your zip code because they want to know if you're a constituent or not. Although if you're calling for a committee, then it doesn't matter. They represent everyone when they're working with the committee. So like the education committee or the appropriations committee or something like that. So you can still call them, absolutely. But just taking 2 minutes. I know we hate calling for anything these days, but and one woman that I follow, one homeschool mama, she says, if you don't like talking to people, call after hours and leave a message. I love that. Just give them your name, please vote no on this bill, and your zip code. That's all you need. That's all you need. It's so easy. It's so easy. And what a difference it can make, because when they hear over and over again all these calls coming in, they're getting pressured to say, "Hey, maybe this is something I need to really pay attention to," because they get inundated with so much information and so much legislation that they have to read over, and so many bills that they have to weed through and just skim some of them. They have their staff read them and then tell them about it. The likelihood of them reading it is very, very small. So if they get a lot of calls, they're going to say, maybe I should check this one out a little further and dig a little deeper. Let's hope that's the case, right? And then you can email them too. Emailing them and just say, "Hey, please vote no. Here's why." If you just wanted to say please vote no, that's fine. That's fine. Right? It's important. It's important just to give that one little thing. It's so easy to do. But guess what? It's easy not to do. It's easy. You guys, I was trying to order some supplements for myself that I take every single day for part of my health journey and the Crohn's disease that I have, and I literally forgot every day to make the phone call for like 3 days until I really, really needed it. So, something I wanted you to know is that it's totally normal. Just plan it out in advance. Put it on your calendar. Let your kids see you do it. What a great example for them that you advocate for them. You say, you know what? This is what we do because I feel it's right for us. And I want to make sure that it's an option that we can still do it. Let them see you make the call. Whoo, that is empowering. And that's raising up leaders right there. I absolutely love it. Calling and emailing. And then number three, spread the word. Tell a friend. You don't even have to post anything. Just forward an email to somebody else that you got from one of the people you're following, forward a post, something like that. Just help get the word out, because lots of times things like these can sneak under the radar cuz nobody's paying attention, or hardly anybody is. And then it passes through and everybody's like, "Wait, what happened?" And there are some things that happen at the legislative level where they can restructure bills and things like that to where it says something completely different by the end. So, really do have to pay attention. It's not a lot of work. Literally three things: pay attention, follow someone. Well, hopefully, many people or several people, so you can get some good information from all different sources. And then read the bill yourself, hopefully, if it's that important. And then when something does come up, call or email, or both would be better. You can even write in them physically. You can write a letter. And then three, spread the word. Just forward it. Just forward something to somebody and keep forwarding it on. That is going to make all the difference, you guys, because whether homeschooling seems secure right now or not, there's always going to be pressure on it. And if we keep not paying attention, then what will happen is that we're going to lose a little ground. We're going to lose a little here, we're going to lose a little there. And then we're going to look up and say, what happened? This didn't used to be like this. And we are losing homeschool freedom. And it's so we have to really just pay attention. Those are so easy to do, and I made them that way for you on purpose because I just want a little baby step. You don't have to necessarily do all the big things that all the people you're following do, organize rallies and things like that. If you're up to that, have at it. Go for it. I'm all about it. But if that's not you, if that's not what you're ready for yet, just just do little baby steps and see what happens. And you know what's so beautiful about it? You feel so empowered, you feel so confident, and you feel sure that you know what's going on in the world, and you know what's happening in terms of what your homeschool freedom looks like. And that's really, really important to your homeschool confidence with your family. It really is, because you feel better and that transfers to your kids. And when they see you doing it, woo, even better, you guys. So, so awesome. So, what I want you to do is to do the number three step first. I want you to share this podcast. Could you do that? If this resonated with you, could you share this podcast with just one person? I mean, don't even try to share it with two people. Share it to one person. Just share it to somebody else and say, you know what? We need to start paying a little bit more attention. I'm feeling that right now. And let's just listen to this and remind ourselves of what we can do. Okay. So share this to one person. Obviously, more if you'd like. But then also make sure that you subscribe and follow to this podcast to get more updates and thinking like this, and just really making sure that homeschooling stays like it is for you and you have the freedom to be able to homeschool in the way that you feel is right for your kids. And then if you love this podcast, if you're resonating with this episode, just leave a little review, leave a rating, leave a review on Apple Podcasts. If you would do that and just leave like take you 30, 60 seconds, just leave a 2 sentence 1 to 2 sentence review and take a screenshot and DM me either on Facebook or Instagram, and I'm gonna send you a little gift. I'm gonna send you something that's gonna help you in your homeschool for free, just because I want people to know about this and I want to spread the word too. Okay. You guys, I hope you feel empowered by this. And I hope you are willing to step a little bit more out of it's really hard sometimes for us in homeschooling to see what's happening outside of what we're trying to do every day. And I get it, it's so busy. But if we can just follow someone and then just make one phone call and then just share it with somebody, what a difference that would make for homeschool freedom. And it will still be under pressure, but we know we can do something about it. And that's very, very empowering and full of confidence. All right, you guys, I will see you next week, and we have lots more goodness to come. Bye bye.